You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687. 687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Sometimes riders feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
My name is Jessie. I'm a United States Special Forces widow. This gives me a unique perspective on the world around us. If you're willing to listen, I'll tell you how I see it, and I won't pull any punches. This is my POV, which stands for Point of View.
All right, how y'all doing out there today? Yes, it's Jessie. Yes, I know. You know I miss you when we're not talking. And I apologize for the replay, bonus play, best of, whatever you want to call it last night. Work went haywire. Work went really cuckoo. But I'm back tonight live. Now, I've got two things I am going to get out of the way before we start the rest of the show. One, everyone at KLRNRadio.com, our hearts and prayers go out to a member of our family, of the KLRN Radio family, that is struggling with a tough time right now. I don't know if this person has made it public, so I will leave it at that. Now, second note. Thoughts and prayers to the members of the, I think it was Air Force that were on the plane that went down on its way to the USS Ronald Reagan. 8 were pulled out of the water almost immediately. The other remaining 3 sailors, last I heard, not so much. So that is the announcement. Now, I do have a show for you for tomorrow night. It will not be live. It is a wonderful pre-record. Because I'm not spending tomorrow in front of my computer. Alright, now that being said, I'm not alone. I got a guest tonight. I turned to one of my buddies and said, you know, I want to talk about friends, family, and freedom. And Richie was kind enough to say, count me in.
Well, it's always a blast to be able to come on one of your shows.
Hey, you're a first-time guest, but, you know, hey, maybe you'll be back. Now, there was an absolutely stunning event that happened last week. And it was in the name of freedom, was it not?
It was one of the greatest visual representations of wanting to have freedom.
And for those of you who either aren't news junkies and have no clue what we're talking about, the United Nations Command Korea released closed-circuit television video footage of the North Korean soldiers' flight to freedom. It shows just how badly this man wanted to be free. There is no other way to explain this, to put this, to whitewash this, is there, Richie?
Absolutely not. I remember when you showed this to me firsthand, I was absolutely speechless. I couldn't believe this was actual footage. It was just so immense.
And there is no audio, but the video we are discussing is available on the KLRNRadio.com YouTube channel, and I will happily tweet out a link to that in just a little bit.
And just because there's no audio doesn't degrade from the impact this video gives. Just the visual representation of what this man would go to get freedom is powerful beyond anything you could hear.
And his own countrymen were firing on him. Was that not the case, Richie?
That is absolutely the case.
Now, I will say the video doesn't necessarily show everything in graphic detail. I'm sure there are thousands of cameras at the DMZ. Let's face it. It probably has more cameras than a Hollywood film studio. Well, I'm willing to bet on it. Between the North Korean cameras, the United Nations command cameras, the U.S. cameras, and who knows who else has one up there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you can get 24-hour visual just for the amount of cameras that they have over there.
Every square inch, 24/7 from both sides. So, when they released this video, and I'm sure they have other angles that show some things better, but they show his countrymen taking up firing positions while he is running. Because at first he was driving and then he got the vehicle stuck in a drainage ditch. So he got out and ran. And
I believe right after that they switched to the IR feed. Isn't that right, Jesse?
They show where he fell. He fell on the U.S. side of a retaining wall. And that what they showed the infrared video of when United Nations command troops being made up of Korean and U.S. forces went out there. And these were NCOs that were out there. But trust me, there were other people nearby, and they went out there and literally dragged this man to safety.
And I think the IR footage is just as impactful as the colored footage, just because of what you see in the IR.
I think that's probably because, Richie, I think you've had a little more experience with IR than most people.
Yeah, that's true.
And yes, friends, Richie is a member of my military family. There's no hiding that one, Richie.
No, there is not. I wear it with pride.
So, but, I mean, it's one of those things. The DMZ is unlike any other duty station. And you and I have both had the privilege of visiting the DMZ. Now, full disclosure, we were both on an approved USO tour.
Yes, that's true.
But we got to walk into the buildings and talk to the men and women that are up there and technically step on North Korean soil, because inside the building on the tour, you can safely stand on the North Korean side of the border. That's the only way I'd do it.
Once in a lifetime opportunity, too.
I mean, would you ever stand on North Korean soil any other way?
Oh, absolutely not.
Well, I can think of one other way. A rifle in your hand and you were told.
Yeah, that's true.
But on normal day-to-day basis without a declaration of war, that's about the size of it.
Yeah.
And, you know, we both have those fun memories, but it is probably the one of the few places on the planet that literally, they are in front of the mall, Every move up there is videotaped. And they could fight tonight. And you can't say that. I mean, military bases here in the United States. The odds of them having to fight tonight are what, Richie?
Oh, probably 1 in 10 million.
Bingo.
Some kind of astronomical odds.
I mean, exactly. Even after 9/11, you guys weren't told to get your rifles and take to the streets, now were you?
No, absolutely not.
I mean, now, getting on and off base was quite the headache. And you guys were told, stand by, we have no idea what's coming down the pike. And I did hear that some people had leave canceled and things like that, but that's to be expected. America was just attacked. Now, overseas bases in some places, and I'm going to say the DMZ, and yeah, Iraq and Afghanistan. I think they're the 3 places, unless you can think of another one there, Richie.
I mean, Syria does pop into my head, but that's debatable.
Oh, we could, well, that's Spec Ops, but yeah, we can throw Syria in there. So, Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, and the demilitarized zone. Those are the only places where U.S. men and women are likely to have to fight tonight. On a moment's notice. And that man wanted that freedom so badly. Do you know...
He risked his life for it.
He did. And do you know how badly the people over in North Korea are brainwashed, Richie? Have you done any research on it?
I've done some, but not very recently.
Okay. Perfect example. I was watching a documentary, and I am, well, quite frankly, fascinated with this stuff. You'd think I'd get enough of it, but I love it. It's an addiction, I'll admit. But I don't want a 12-step program. I'm happy with it. So I was watching a documentary. These children are taught that Kim Jong-un, their great leader, loves them more than their parents. These people are taught the exact opposite of what happened at the Korean War. They are taught that America invaded North Korea and buried their people alive and slaughtered them without provocation. You essentially have an entire nation that has no access to outside information and has basically been brainwashed.
Exactly, because from what I read before, the even internet over there is so limited to 1% of 1% of the information that's out there, and what they're actually allowed to view goes through the government, and they have to be allowed to view it.
Okay, who gets the internet over there? Well, obviously Kim Jong-un, but we're just going to ignore him. He doesn't count. He's not normal. But that's a topic for a little bit, for another moment. So Kim Jong-un, his intelligence sources, the hacking teams that they employ, and the absolute elite of the elite of the elite at the universities. And that's it. Now, foreigners are permitted 3G service. But your average North Korean citizen doesn't know what a smartphone is, and doesn't own a computer, and couldn't afford them. So does that give you an idea of how brainwashed and cut off they are there, Richie?
Oh, yeah. Definitely not a tourist destination.
I always keep saying there's 3 places you need to take off your tourist wish list, at least until their governments do a 180. Syria, just not a safe place to be, friends. Iran, really, they don't like Americans.
Not a very safe place.
They just don't like Americans. I mean, come on, they have their weekly death to Israel, death to America chants. And then North Korea. They'll arrest you. They don't care. Now, I will admit, I'd love to see all those places. And I've told
once they become a little safer.
I've told my husband that if the Korean Peninsula is unified, I'm on the first flight to Pyongyang.
Oh, absolutely.
The minute that ink
Just
is dry.
Itself.
Because I want to see the city before it changes. I'm on the first flight I can get. Flight, cattle cart, donkey cart, train, you name it. I'm on the first piece of transportation I can get into North Korea before it changes. Because I want to see the country before it gets completely changed. So, like I said, that's how I view it. I would love to go. Tehran is actually a beautiful city. I have friends that are from Tehran, Iran. Obviously, they don't live there anymore. But it is a drop-dead gorgeous city. The people are fantastic. The government just needs to go soak its head. Well, you know, I've visited Moscow. You wouldn't consider Russia a very friendly place, would you?
No, not really.
The people are the most wonderful, kind, caring, thoughtful people in the world. The government, yeah, go sit and spin over in the corner. I mean, that's literally my impression. I have been to Moscow. I have been to St. Petersburg. They are the most gorgeous cities, and the people are fantastic. It's the government that makes us all look at it and go, let's not. And I have...
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
I have a very...
I would love to go visit, like Moscow especially, but until the government can relax a little bit and be a little more safer, I'm happy over here.
Would you go to Israel?
I would, actually. I would love to, like, the world especially, I would love to travel all kinds of places. But because of immediate dangers of some places, I prefer to wait, just looking out for my own safety. But if places become safer and not much of a threat to my own personal safety, I'll hold back. Once it's not that dangerous for me, I would love to go visit. You know this, Jesse, one of my big things is photography, and I would love to go there, especially for the places to see, just the beauty of the world to take in. I would love it.
Like I said, there are gorgeous sights that most people don't see because they let their visions get colored by the government. And I have found, like I said, I have friends that are originally from Tehran, Iran. Wonderful people. You'd love the food too. But wonderful people. And just like some of the people I met when I was in Moscow and St. Petersburg. The people themselves are absolutely fantastic. But I'm willing to believe that this North Korean soldier that risked his life to be free is a fantastic human being. You have any doubt of that?
Oh, absolutely not. That man is one of the most driven people I have ever seen in my life.
I mean, what was he willing to let stop him?
Absolutely nothing. He wasn't even prepared to let death stop him.
He didn't care if he died doing this. And here's the thing. Do you know what will happen to his family back in North Korea because of his defection?
Oh, I barely have an idea, but I can imagine, but it doesn't look very pretty.
Most likely, his very possibly up to 3 generations of his family could be imprisoned or worse. Yes, having a family member who defected could be a capital crime. But watching illegal television in North Korea is also a capital crime. Yes, watching a smuggled-in DVD is a capital offense, Richie.
That's nuts.
You got a Bible?
I do.
That's a capital crime in North Korea.
It's a crazy place.
Like I said, I'm willing to bet the people are fantastic, but the government, yeah,
not yet.
The government is just, can we just admit they're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So, quackers, you do not win this round. Your soldier escaped. He is free. We had one of your highest ranking defectors here in the United States last month talking to Congress. He told our Congress without fear of retribution because he played it smart. This one was a diplomat and able to get his whole family out. So your secrets are no longer safe, my friend. And if you think that anybody is going to be afraid of you for much longer, I'm sorry, Rocket Man, aka Quackers. But
that's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
We know you've been committing crimes against humanity. We know you are nothing but a short dictator who will do anything to have his own way. That about sum it up there, Richie?
Yeah, about sums it up perfectly.
You got anything else to add to that before we take a commercial break?
No, you pretty much hit the nail on the head.
All right. Well, on that note, we are going to go pay some radio station bills, and I will see you on the other side.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687. 687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Sometimes writers feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
Down if you wanna, you can run away if you wanna, you can pretend that this is totally okay if you wanna,
for hanging in there with me while we paid those radio station bills. And yes, for those of you who are wondering, I am live on KLRNRadio.com tonight. Now, this will be my last live show of the week. Tomorrow will be taped, and there is no Jesse's POV, just coffee shop for your enjoyment on Friday night. Now, I'm not alone. My guest, Richie, and I were discussing family before we headed off to pay those bills. And there are men and women who wear the uniform of the United States Armed Forces that will undoubtedly be away from their friends and family this year. But are they truly alone, Richie?
Oh, absolutely not.
Because, and I've said this before, but I think my listeners need to hear it from somebody who actually wears the uniform, because I freely admitted I'm a military spouse. But the military is like a family. It is a family.
Oh, absolutely. More than like a family. We are a family. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We are one giant crazy family.
In fact, I got a funny story before I let you tell one. This was a number of years ago, about a decade ago, in fact. My husband called, and Dave Brewer called and said, "Hey, I'm on the way in from the field. I'm going to have this long. I want a shower. I want this, and this." Well, I went to go make sure the bathroom was clean, and it was we had a handheld shower head. Well, at that moment, the handheld shower head decided to break. And the shower head flew off. That wasn't going to work, was it?
No. Especially coming back from the field, that's not a proper shower.
So, I jumped in the car, ran to Lowe's, bought a replacement shower head. Now, I'm a klutz with tools. Tools and I have come to this wonderful agreement of I won't mess with them. They won't give me any trouble. So, I ran over to a neighbor's house, someone who I'd seen in passing, and said, "Will you help me? Will you install this shower head to me?" Some random service member I don't think I'd said more than 30 words to, and explained that my husband was on his way in for a shower from the field. What do you think happened?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was more than happy to help.
Exactly. He happily installed that shower head with a smile. 15 minutes later, problem was solved. 30 minutes later, my husband was happily showering. I'm not even sure he realized it was a different shower head until the very end of the shower.
Yeah, probably not.
And if that is an example of military families sticking together.
Oh, yeah. Trust me, Jesse, I was thinking, you actually witnessed to something like that a couple days ago with me. I had just come back from a long trip. I headed to a convention up in the northeast of the country, and I had just gotten back. My gas light had been on for quite a few miles, and as I'm pulling onto base, my car had just ran out of gas, and I gave you a call, asked if you had a gas can, and you did not. But almost as soon as you said you didn't have one, the car pulled up behind me, and it was a female E5 sergeant, and asked if I was okay, and said, "Yeah, I just ran out of gas. Do you by any chance have a gas can?" And she said, "Unfortunately, I don't, but the shop is just up the street. I can go there, get a gas can, fill it up a little bit, and be right back." It took her maybe 10, 15 minutes, and she got back to me, full 2-gallon gas can, helped me fill up my tank a little bit to get me to the gas station, and Sheriff said, "Here, just in case it happens again," and gave me the gas can. And it's just that link that you wear this uniform, along with these hundreds, thousands of people, they all have your back.
Exactly.
It's the exact definition of the word amazing.
And you know that you can call on almost any other member of the United States Armed Forces. It doesn't matter if they wear an Army uniform, a Navy, an Air Force, or a Marine uniform. In the end, there may be a little bit of good-natured ribbing involved, but they'll help you out.
Oh, absolutely. Just comes with the territory.
They'll help you out, won't they?
Oh, absolutely. They'll help you out, get you a beer afterward, and crack jokes on you.
For whatever and every service has their idiosyncrasies, The Marines, yeah. Every problem's a nail and they tend to be a hammer. The Army, well, they'll get there. As soon as they figure out how to move all their equipment into place. The Navy, they just got to stop running into things. And the Air Force, well, good old chairborne. And nothing stops the Air Force faster than lightning within 5 miles.
Yeah, that's true.
But, I mean, in the end, I've seen soldiers stationed at other bases. And you all work together. You're going to crack jokes and make fun of each other from here to doomsday. And there's no getting around that one.
Absolutely. That's more tradition than anything. And it's a welcome one. It shows humanity, I think.
But those men and women that are away from their family by blood, they're not actually alone.
No.
They're going to be...
I've had more friends in the military turn into chosen family than I have anywhere else. I've been stationed a couple places in the world, and everywhere I go, it just adds on to the amount of family members I have. Exactly.
And that's... I try and get this point across from time to time, and I've said on the air, I've had to skip shows because I'm one of those people. When my military family calls, what's my answer?
I'll be right there.
Is there a question, or is it I'm out the door?
Absolutely not. It's where are you, and I'll be right there.
And it doesn't matter what time of day or night it is. And I've told my listeners before, when I've had to drop replays to go help my military family. And I've said, sorry about, the next night I get back on air and it's, sorry guys, my military family called. And as much as I love my listeners, and I do love and appreciate each and every one of you, whether you listen live or via Memorex, this show can be heard on iHeart, iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher. I've lost track of how many places. You can listen to it on KLRNRadio.com. Alexa's can even go find it for you nowadays. But my military family will always come first. In fact, I've admitted on air many times, I'm in a wheelchair. And you know what one of my hardest tasks is, Richie?
What is your hardest what?
One of the tasks that nobody wants me to do.
Taking out the trash.
And that is because, I can do it, but...
It's just a pain in the keister for you.
And I broke my right arm doing it. My right hand doing it one time. And ever since then, the overwhelming, resounding answer is, you're not allowed to do this anymore. And that was great when my husband was home. And I figured, when he left, I'd be back to taking the trash out myself.
No.
Because
who takes your trash out now, Jesse?
Well, you've done it. Several other members of my military family have stepped up. I mean, you guys have helped me assemble furniture, rearrange things around the house, pick up that odd thing that fell somewhere that I just can't reach. You guys have just said, call. And when I really need it, I'll call. Or on trash day. And the main reason I kind of let you guys get away with the trash, besides it being a pain in the six?
What's that?
I don't want to get yelled at by about a dozen of you.
Yep.
Because not only would you chew on me, my husband would chew on me, and I could think of about 8 or 10 others that would be like right there in line with you going, no, we've told you no.
Yeah, it would be phone call after phone call of an ear chewing for you.
Yeah, exactly. And so I pick my battles. Taking out the trash and pumping my own gas are not worth it. Now, I am going to say something. I am very thankful for the military and the armed forces of the United States. Because most of them, and you get a bad apple in every bunch. I don't think you can get 100,000 people together and not find a few bad apples. Do you, Richie?
Oh, no. There's bound to be a few.
But they are some of the best people I know. They are all service before self. And every single one of them will help you. Because you are part of that family. Now, I never raised my right hand, but I'm considered just as much military family. Now, that doesn't mean I don't give back when I can. I've had groups of soldiers over for Thanksgiving dinner. I've had groups of soldiers and their families over when they're just getting back that first meal off the plane. I've been there many a morning in the motor pool as part of the FRG selling you guys breakfast and hot coffee. But it's one of those things. I didn't do it for my own profit. I did it so that the unit family readiness group would have the money to do something fun for you guys. And it's just one of those things. There's a bad egg or two everywhere, but for the most part, you guys are all willing to give. And it just amazes me how much you'll give. Everybody understands, you raised your right hand. But, most people understand.
Most people just don't understand the commitment of what comes behind raising that hand. You're accepting a family.
And that family doesn't end, does it?
No, it doesn't matter if it's a change of duty station or what. Your family for life. It doesn't matter.
I had a service member I haven't spoken with in 4 years, 5 years. Call me up the other day. That's out of the blue. And
I'm pretty sure that's the definition of out of the blue.
Close enough as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, Everyone always hears a veteran is someone who at one point in his life wrote a blank check made payable to the United States of America for an amount of up to and including my life. And that's a huge sacrifice. But I don't think everybody also sees how much you guys give back to each other that goes unnoticed, goes unanswered, and unreported. Like that sergeant who I'm guessing you didn't even catch her name or have any idea what unit she's with, who helped you.
All I know is that she was airborne. That's all I know.
Yeah, there's a lot of airborne NCOs out there.
Yes, there is.
And
but
she didn't ask you for anything
She'll
back.
always be remembered.
And that's
Doesn't matter how. That's family.
Exactly. And so while, yes, the men and women of our armed forces may not all be home with their family by blood, trust me, they are part of, being in the uniform, correct me here if I'm wrong, Richie, you're part of something bigger than yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's not just about gas cans and meals. It's
something stronger. Like, these are people you go to fight and or, God forbid, die with. There's an unbreakable bond that comes with that.
Exactly. And everybody always talks about the bond in the special forces. And yeah, their bond, I'm willing to bet, not to take away regular soldiers, Richie, their bond is probably just that much stronger because their lives are on the line a little more often.
No, absolutely.
But I don't think people realize that the regular military has a very similar bond.
Yes, they do.
And the Navy's the same way. After you live on a ship, which is essentially a confined space and there's no off-ramp, for 9 months to a year, you think you don't know everybody on that ship by now?
Oh, I'm pretty sure you know everybody first and last name.
And you probably know who likes what movies, books, computer games, who has a cat, dog, brother, sister, mother, or kid waiting for him.
And who's coming to poker night or who's playing video games.
Exactly. And in fact, I can tell you what Dave Brewer will be doing on Thanksgiving. His unit is putting together a game day. Nothing formal, organized by a chain of command. But his unit, just his squad and a few others, are getting together and they're going to go play basketball and goof around over at the gym. Now, we do have a question from the chat room. And you've been deployed, unless I'm mistaken, is that right?
That's correct.
All right, the military of our allied countries, do you find that they help Americans stationed abroad? Just like our military would help each other? Or do they hold back just a little bit?
I honestly, from my experience on my deployment, it was like hanging out with my military family from the States. I got to hang out with a few members of the Australian military, and it was just like talking to my buddy here in the States. There was almost immediately that connection to me and you are both risking our lives for our country. Why can't we sit down and share a beer? Why can we not see eye to eye on things? It was almost immediate.
Like I said, that's what I've come to find as well. I mean, one of my good friends is in the Danish Air Force. That ain't anywhere nearby now, is it?
No, absolutely not.
So, well, do you have any, now, for anybody who wants to send in a note or any comments to Richie, you can email them to me at jessiespov@klrnradio.com, and I will see to it that he gets them. As he is active duty, he is not giving out contact information. Just get me whatever message. I promise I'll pass it on.
I'm sure in later episodes I'll get.
We'll come up with something for you.
KLR email. Yeah, me and Jesse will be able to come up with something where you guys can email me directly.
We're creative enough for that. All right, now I have one other late-breaking announcement. There will be no America Off the Rails tonight. And for those of you listening live on KLRN Radio, that is our 11 o'clock show with our wonderful host, Ricky Robinson. And let me just get his actual tweet here so I can read it to you. He said, due to a family emergency, America Off the Rails will not air tonight. He does have every intention of doing his show tomorrow, but the situation is fluid. And he said, hold your loved ones close while you can, and don't sweat the small stuff. Now, he is in the middle of quite a family emergency. And my thoughts and prayers, and as well as everybody at KLRN Radio is with him, that he finds peace in the situation. Now, do you have anything else you wanted to bring up that we haven't touched on tonight?
I think I'm good.
All right. Well, I just want to remind all of you to hold tight to your family and friends. And family does not have to be a blood relative. Family can be the person that wears the same uniform you do to work. Is that right, Richie?
Amen to that.
And maybe over the time of the next few weeks of holiday chaos, take a moment, pay it forward, do that good deed. Help someone with their bags. Ask that motorist that's stuck on the side of the road if they're okay. Do something nice. Spread a little bit of that wonderful American spirit throughout. And I do want to issue thanks to every man and woman who wears the uniform of the United States Armed Forces, because they did write that check for up to and including their lives, so that all of us here in the United States can sleep under a blanket of peace in the freedom that one man recently risked his life to achieve. And as always, you can email me here at jessiespov@klrnradio.com. You can look me up on Twitter at jessiespov. And don't forget about my other show, Jesse's Coffee Shop. And Richie, I've got one last comment for you. He said, Happy Thanksgiving, and thank you for your service and sacrifice for the nation. It came from the chat room.
Thank you very much.
All right. Well, on that note, friends, no, I'm not screaming tonight. I'm out of here, and I will see you next time.